Hi friends! As you can see, my V70 is still on the road and I've been braking in this engine for 1,000 kilometers. Well, almost, because I still gotta do the last 100 kilometers and I wanted to do that today and take you guys with me. Alright, for those of you who are new to the channel, this is my Volvo V70 2.5T titanium. Not too long ago, I completely rebuilt the engine from the ground up, just for the fun of it. Today is an important milestone, because I'll be doing the final few kilometers of braking in this engine before it can finally be driven the way it's meant to be. So hop on with me and let's go for a drive. Alright, so for the last 900 kilometers I've been braking in this engine, which was actually super stressful, I think, because I don't know about you guys, but when I do a big job on a car, like for example taking apart an entire engine, I always feel super stressed when driving it for the first time. And I must say that I'd rather have someone else break in this engine for me instead of doing it myself. But of course, in this case, I have to do it myself, because if something breaks or something happens to this car, I can go and check and either fix it myself or wait for someone to bring me parts or anything. But I had to break it in myself, but I always hate this part about rebuilding engines. You all are probably wondering what happened to this car during the last 900 kilometers, or if anything has happened. Well, actually, not really. So I'm a bit surprised, because I did expect some oil leaks or anything, but the only thing I had to fix this far is one broken headlight. So I think this car has been doing really well. So far I'm super happy, because yeah, I always expect a little oil leak or anything, like I said, but this car has been doing really well. Now, speaking of being scared of oil leaks, I always like to check my oil level after driving this car. And that did give me a little stressful moment, because I did take this car to work one day, well, last week, and that's over 100 kilometers, and that was the very first time I had driven this car on the highway. So when I arrived at work, and that's always when it's still dark, because I always leave for work very early to not get into traffic jams. So I did check my oil level, and when I pulled out the dipstick there was no oil, or so I thought, on my dipstick. So I was super stressed and I called everyone I know to get me oil. And then my colleague suggested me to go to the car again during my lunch break to check my oil level once more, and then it turned out that I just can't check oil levels when it's still dark outside using my flashlight, because the dipstick was all full. So there was oil in this car, but I was super stressed because I thought I had burned all of my oil on the highway or something, but no, this car has been doing good and my oil level is still in check. A little side note, because I don't know if you can see it from there, but my check engine light's on, but that's because of the upgraded injectors, because I need to get this car retuned, so that's normal, but no other fault codes until now. Well, that may all sound all nice and perfect. Of course, I still haven't driven full throttle with this car, because like I said, I'm still braking in the engine and I have a little less than 100 kilometers to go. And when braking in an engine, I always like to not go above 4,000 RPM, and I like to fluctuate a lot between different RPMs and not keep one steady speed. So unfortunately, no cruise control, so that's a bummer. But luckily this car, even though it is an automatic, you can still manually shift gears. So that's really nice when breaking in an engine. So I am lucky with that, but I am really happy when I can use my cruise control again. I have been told many times before that you don't really need to break in an engine and that this is totally unnecessary, but I personally think when I spend this much time rebuilding an engine, I might as well spend the same amount of effort into breaking in this engine. Because like I said, I do drive 1,000 kilometers a week, so it isn't like I have to drive like this for over a month. So I think it isn't that big of a deal, and maybe it is unnecessary. I don't know the exact answer to that, but I like to do it just to be extra careful, because I don't have to break this car, so I'd rather not do it and be extra careful with it just for the first 1,000 kilometers. So I must admit that this whole breaking in the engine part is just super annoying, but I must also say that I can already feel how nice this car is driving, because it's just so comfortable, and it's also pretty silent when you're driving it. So compared to my straight pipe diesel, this is just super relaxing to drive. So I really cannot wait to drive this car normally after today. Well, I'm almost driving it normally because we're almost at 1,000 kilometers, but it is still a bit annoying to fluctuate, like I said, especially when driving on the highway. But on these kind of roads it's pretty okay, because you have to fluctuate between speeds because of all the corners and speed bumps. Like I said, after today this engine will have 1,000 kilometers on it after the rebuild, so that means it also deserves some new oil and a new oil filter, I think. So now let's head to my garage and give it its very first oil change. Well, I just found out that I left my car jack at my other garage, so that's a bit of a pain in the ass. So hopefully I can go and do the oil change with the car on the floor, because I don't want to push the other car outside because it's a bit heavy and it's not driving. Luckily, this car doesn't have a skid plate because I wanted to leave it off to be able to find any oil leaks and everything. So that will make it a bit easier, but hopefully I can do it without a car jack. Well, that was kind of a struggle, so don't try this at home when your car is lowered, but I got it done on the underside, so now let's fill it up again. With the new oil in, I think this car is now ready for many more miles to come. I hope you enjoyed this project. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye! Now, I didn't really mention my future plans for this car in the video. Some of you might know that this isn't my only V70. I originally bought this one to replace my daily driven V70 diesel. But after giving it some thought, I realized I just couldn't bring myself to sell that car, which is why I decided to put this one up for sale instead. Finishing this project is a bit of a strange feeling. On one hand, it's great to finally see everything come together, but on the other, it's hard to let go after putting so much time and effort into it. I do want to drive it a little more, just to really take care of the engine and to enjoy it for a bit. But in about a month or so, I'll be listing this car for sale again. When it does go up for sale, I'll share all the details on the YouTube community tab and on my Instagram, which I'll link in the description. So stay tuned if you're interested.